it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today is a very special day because today is the second annual Pink Blog Hop, which is in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This blog hop is involving about 50 international Stampin' Up demonstrators, and I'm very honoured to be one of those taking part. I do hope you'll take the time to visit my blog, which is linked below. The blog post for this video is linked below, and I really would encourage you to take the time to go and visit some of the other blogs, because I think you'll find that there are some wonderful projects, but also some very touching stories. So this is the project that I have put together for this hop. It's very personal to me in that when I was in the unfortunate position of going through chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer, when I was diagnosed with it, happily now over 5 years ago, one of the things that impacted on me most of all was actually the fact that the chemotherapy gave me a really nasty taste in my mouth. So I was sucking sweets the whole time, and I thought it would be really nice to let someone have some Tic Tacs. These happen to be Strawberry Fields flavoured, so strawberry flavoured, but really it was just because they were pink. And in a nice little holder that has some sweet little messages. So this is sending love and hugs to you, and then on the back, just tucked away, it's got "With faith all things are possible," and then the lovely ribbon of courage on the front. And this of course is Patty Bennett's $1 Million Achiever stamp set, which she put together with breast cancer in mind in particular, although it can be used for other cancers and other ribbon supporting events. So this one I put together using Berry Burst, because it's obviously very pink. I'm also, and it's sort of one of the nearest colours I could find to the sweets. I thought I would also put one together using powder pink. I don't actually have a second of the large Tic Tacs, but I wanted it to be the large one. So I thought I would show you how I'm putting it together, but this time with powder pink, so the other pink in colour for the current 2 years. So these are the pieces that you will need. Dimensions are all linked as ever in the associated post below. They will be underneath the information about the blog hop, because what's important is the blog hop. But we have got a piece of powder pink at 5 by 3.5, which is 12 3/4 by 9 centimetres. Then this is just a scrap for stamping, and then this is the piece that wraps round, which is this piece here, which just wraps round the Tic Tacs, and this is 1.5 inches high and 4 across. So I'm going to start by doing the scoring that needs to be done, and then we will do the embossing, because we're doing heat embossing as well. So let's bring in, and I have to say I apologise for the lighting, it's not brilliant. I'm filming this fairly late on, but I wanted to get it done. So apologies if there are nasty shadows. I will one day sort out the lighting now that I've got my new setup. So with the 5-inch piece across the top, we're going to score at 2 1/8, and then again at 3 7/8. And that is because that therefore is the middle, and our Tic Tacs are 3/4 of an inch wide, thereabouts. So that's that. And then the 4-inch piece, we are going to score at 5/8, at 2 1/2, and at 3 1/4. And that's all the scoring that we need to do. So I'll pop that down and then grab my bone folder and just score score everything first. And this piece. And as you see, this will form the sort of book, and then this will wrap around it. Now, I prefer to have rounded corners because I can see this going in someone's handbag. So with the envelope punch board, I'm just going to round the corners because we do have a corner rounder on our punch board. So there we are, 4 nicely rounded corners. And then I'm going to do my stamping and my heat embossing. So I need my scrap for the ribbon. And I did white heat embossing before, but this time I'm going to use copper because I think copper and this soft pink is a really nice combination. So I'm just going to ink up my, this is the floral of the 2 stamps. So there's the solid or there's the floral. So I'm doing the floral one. And then just grab my embossing buddy. So the lighting really is not very good for me. I hope it's better for you, which I think actually it might be. Just check that that is properly inked, which it is. Stamp that down. And that looks reasonably well embossed. Or stamped, should I say. The test is always when you put the embossing powder on. It's easier to see on darker colours. Now this is going to be die cut, so I'm not too worried if there's the odd speck, although actually that looks okay. So I'll pop that to one side while I do the other bits of stamping. So on the inside I'm going to have the sentiment that says sending love and hugs to you, because then that's something that that the recipient can see when they open it up and every time they use it. I need to get this the right way around. So you're going to do the stamping with the single score line to the left and the 2 doubles to the right. And then just... this is going to be a bottom out one. Much easier when there isn't a camera hanging over you, I have to say. Oh, and I didn't use the embossing buddy. Fingers crossed! Ooh, and I've over-inked. Never mind, we will sort that out. Okay, so I stupidly over-inked, but I have a trusty paintbrush, and if it's a reasonably soft paintbrush, you can just flick away the bits you don't want. Ooh. Try not to take away what you do want, but you can flick away what you don't want. I'm actually just going to add a little bit more, which probably means I'm going to have to flick everything away again because I took the S off hugs. There we go. Let's see if I can just add a bit more to this side without adding back over the bit I over-inked. That's better. Good, so that's that one. And then the final one is going to go on the back. Now at this stage you haven't really got a back and the front, but I'm going to call this my front and therefore this is my back. And this is the with faith all things are possible. Now obviously you could switch that round so you could have them different sentiments, but I just thought that would be nice to have at the bottom of the back. Oh, and once bitten and all that. Actually remember to use the embossing buddy. It's kind of, you know. And again, as I say, easier when you haven't got tripods hanging over you. Just add a wee bit more. Lovely. Okay, so put the lid back on that so that that doesn't fly everywhere. And clear the decks a bit. And then I'm going to bring in my trusty cheese board and heat up my embossing. So embossing gun, just get that heated up under the desk. And then once we've done that, we are pretty close to being done. So, apologies for the noise. And as you know, I'm not a wafter. I could watch heat embossing all day. It's particularly wonderful with the metallics. Lovely. So that's that one done. So we can take that off and then add the next one. And heat that. Perfect. And then final piece. Lovely. Okay, so that's all of the heat embossing done. So having done that, now that the this first piece is dry, it's always worth remembering that when you heat emboss, to begin with, it's still going to be slightly soft, so you don't want to touch anything too quickly after you've heat embossed it. But now that that is properly set, I'm going to bring in my very tatty looking magnetic platform and cutting plate. Well, the magnetic platform's fine. The cutting plate is also fine, it's just rather tatty, but it still works. I've got embossing buddy all over my fingers. And I'm just going to push that through the Big Shot. And there we go. Beautifully falls out just as you want it to. Right, so all we now need to do is to add our ribbon and add our folded bit. Now I have found that it's easier to do it with the box kind of in place. You can see it fits nicely and snugly around the box. So it is quite useful to get your box in place so that you know where it's going to be. And then you can get your fast fuse. And I'm just going to add fast fuse to the single side first. So the single fold, which is going to go into the back of the box, for want of a better, well, book. Get your Tic Tacs where you want them in the box, and then just push against the Tic Tacs and make sure that that's well down, and then add more fast fuse to the other piece. Just want to get a little bit more there. There we are, right to the edge. Pop the Tic Tacs in and fold it round and lift up your back cover. Whoops! Helps if your Tic Tacs are in the right place. Lift up your back cover, although you can of course just slip the, I say famous last words, yes, you can just slip the Tic Tacs out. And I'm going to now leave them in there because it means everything else is easier to put together. So I'm going to use the shimmer ribbon this time. You need about 18 inches. So I'm actually going to grab my ribbon measurer, which is really high tech. It's a piece of cardboard that is, in this case, 6 inches long. So if I want 18 inches, I know that I can wrap that round 3 times, and that will be 18 inches, or thereabouts. Good enough for what we need here. So this is going to go round the box, and I'm going to tie it before I put the stamped ribbon in place. I just want this to be kind of in the middle. Yep. So tie this in a bow, which is of course one of those things that is almost impossible to do on camera. So let's see how we go. Ah! Someone is definitely looking down on me. There we are. And then some dimensionals, which I had on my desk. There we are. 30 seconds ago. These things seem to walk around my desk. So some dimensionals onto the back of our ribbon, avoiding the middle part because that's where the ribbon's going to go. But I am using more than I would normally use if this was just going on a card, because this is going to be, as I say, I see it as going in and out of someone's handbag. And I'm just going to trim that down. And that will then go at the top there. Give some support at the top. And then, let's see, we can probably put some more down the sides. Say, if this was a card, this would be far too many. Or more than required, I suppose, is better than far too many, because you can't put too many on. How are we doing? This is one of my longer videos. But there we go. It's in a good cause. And the last one. So, just pop that there on the front. And just hold that one there as well. So I think that would be a really sweet thing to give someone who's going through chemotherapy. I know I would have been really touched if someone had thought about gifting something like this to me. It's not to say people didn't gift me things, they did. But this is, I think you just need to know that this is something that someone would actually appreciate getting. So I hope you have enjoyed the project. Do please carry on hopping and go and have a look at some of the other hoppers and their projects. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Bye!